are gathered here today in the sight of God to present this couple in holy matrimony, romantic Roman and romantic Ramona. Welcome. That's the trumpet voluntary, which is a traditional wedding processional. I often play at weddings, and it's a wonderful way of starting off our last show on romance, the last show, sweetheart disposition, the personality styles and character states of romantic Roman and romantic Ramona, the wonderful sweetheart disposition of romance. And today we're going to be talking about romance in marriage. And it's one of the most wonderful ways to keep a marriage revitalized, having romance, affection, and sexuality. Basically, romance has three components. The words that are said, like the poetic words, the thoughtful words, that beautiful poetry in Song of Solomon. Then there's the romantic gestures, such as sharing of one's time, being a listening friend, helping with chores and caring when the lady is sad, or giving a flower. Is very romantic. So many gestures. Romantic atmosphere and ambiance is the third thing as well, by surprising her with a candlelight dinner, soft music, and slow dance by the sea. Go the extra mile and do the very best to create a memory. Romantic Roman, he pours himself out to her as a drink offering and brings in a spirit of romance with whatever is enjoyable, wherever she prefers, whatever she would delight in, doing the unexpected thing at the unexpected time in the unexpected way to make her feel special, safe, and secure. Romantic Roman always puts Ramona's wishes before his own. His chivalry is putting a lady's best interest as a number one priority. Besides Jesus himself, to make her feel so special, a man needs to be sacrificing. In marital relationships, there are certain responsibilities that are entailed in this romantic relationship, not only romance itself. Especially important is that the husband be the spiritual leader, praying with her, praying for her, praying for the marriage, reading the word with her and to her, and taking her to church and Christian fellowship opportunities for education, worship, praise, fellowship, and ministry with other believers, outreaches of all kinds. To work together as a team would be ideal in being disciple makers. The number one role of a man with his wife is to lead her and wash her in the water of the word. I love this. Ephesians 5:25 through 33 says, "Husband, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for her, that he might sanctify her and cleanse her with the washing of the water of the word." So husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as the Lord does the church. Let each one of you in particular so love his own wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. Marital romance, affection, and sexuality is such a big part of marriage. It continues all the excitement and wonder of courtship. Throughout the marriage, the man will love his wife sacrificially. The wife will remain sweet, receptive, appropriately submissive, and respectful before and after marriage. Everyone should be putting their best foot forward in courtship and maintain that beautiful, giving, thoughtful, kind, caring, sharing, helpful disposition. Romantic Ramona makes thoughtful decisions to make her man feel like a man, demonstrating random and regular acts of kindness toward him so he feels admired and desired. Traditional distinct roles of husbands and wives need to be committed to and maintained. Spending time together, talking with each other, showing personal attention, to give and receive, physical affection, and sexual intimacy all define the quality of Roman and Ramona's romantic relationship in marriage with each other. So love, respect, and sex and marriage all go together. The love and respect between romantic Roman and Ramona are, of course, reciprocal because both sexes need both. Ladies like Ramona need to feel loved as being the most important person in her husband's life, and men like Roman need to know they are being respected more than anything else. Married couples to stay romantically open and sexually active, to nurture each other's needs for romance, affection, and sex, and have plenty of discussion about what each of them need, desire, and expect in these categories. And we're to stop depriving one another. I love the way 1 Corinthians 7, 2 through 5 puts it. Because of sexual immorality, let each man have his own wife, and let each woman have her own husband. Let the husband render to his wife the affection due her, and likewise also the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does, and likewise the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Do not deprive one another, except with consent, for a time, that you may be giving yourself to fasting and prayer, but come together again so that Satan does not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. See, if you don't give your partner some of what they need, there's a risk that the enemy can come in and do what he did to Adam and Eve, entice away. If we're depriving one another, one person feels resentful, neglected, and may be tempted to cheat. My wife has a problem with the husband's body is not his own but the wife's, and the wife's body is not her own but the husband's, but it's the symbolicness of how Christ laid his body down for us, the church. And so we need to lay ourselves down as his body to him, the head of us. And this mutual surrender, take it as you will. It's deep stuff, but we need to not be withholding the love that we have to give and to receive. Let's look at a superb husband and wife. The husband is dedicated to asking his lady how she's feeling and being sensitive to how she may be feeling tired, in pain, stressed out, overwhelmed, really busy, or simply not feeling well. That's going to determine the affection, romance, and sexuality, and be sensitive to that. Roman is trusting that she will tell him if she is momentarily not attracted to him for some reason. Also, she tells him if she has anxiety bothering her or anger at him about anything which is difficult to turn off. Ramona tunes into Roman's feelings and needs regarding intimacy and what he might be frustrated about, since his sex drive often seems to be much more powerful or driven for him than her. It may be a general sex difference. Ramona is refined, elegant, and has superb manners. She is honest, true, and trustworthy, and aims to be a positive influence on him, which will win him over if ever he lacks discretion or morphs into an inappropriate disposition. She's a virtuous wife. Proverbs 31 is a very good chapter. Who has a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts in her. You can read the whole chapter of Proverbs 31, how definitely the Proverbs 31 woman is industrious and proactive. She plants a vineyard and is a merchant ship gathering food from afar and making clothes for her family, and very productive. Definitely not barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. Women have had a confined role over the centuries, but the Proverbs 31 woman, the true woman of God, is very free in her relationship to be who she is. At the same time, 1 Peter 3 points out, wives, likewise be submissive to your own husband. They may be won over by the conduct of their wives when they observe your chaste, decent, modest, simple style and respectful behavior. Do not let your adornment be merely outward. Rather, let it be the hidden person of the heart with the incorruptible beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is very precious in the sight of the Lord. Ladies, you've come a long way since women's liberation in the 60s. I just hope that the pendulum doesn't swing so far that you might become like men have ruined themselves, to be controlling, fault-finding, condescending, abusive, sexist, in any way controlling. We need to find that nice balance as men, that we're in touch with our feminine side, where we're able to show our emotions, be domestic around the house, help with the children. And wives need to be in touch with their masculine side to be able to be assertive and independently functioning and speaking up and being strong, at the same time maintaining that ladylikeness, and the man maintaining his strength as a leader. And they submit one to another. True romance, as God would have it, is based in godly intentions and guidance of the Holy Spirit. Let the Holy Spirit dwell in your heart. My book, Looking Upon the Heart, is about the most important entity in our lives is the heart. The spiritual heart is where Jesus dwells and wants to live and reign and mend our hearts, that he might guide us each moment by the Holy Spirit. And the most romantic thing a man can do is to listen to the Holy Spirit and be that spiritual leader. The most romantic thing a woman can do is to be receptive to the righteous man's spiritual leadership. Romance and spiritual leadership go hand in hand. They're both very sweet, beautiful ways that each person can adore each other. There's a sincere, well-intentioned romance that can be one of the most sweetest and greatest experiences of the flow of the Holy Spirit and the human spirit of love. Well, thank you so much, everybody. This has been Looking Upon the Heart, going through all of the sweetheart, disposition, personality styles, and character states. And I thank you so much for joining us. We're going to move forward in our upcoming shows on the pinnacle of character and personality in the brave heart disposition. Until then, love your wives and love your husbands as the Lord loves the church. God bless you and have a beautiful, beautiful day in your marriage and family. Bye for now. God bless.